In today's video, we're going to do a comparison between two smart vacuums from ECOVACS. We're talking about the DEEBOT T50, and this is going to be the Pro and the Max Pro. There's two versions of those. Both of them feature the latest technology from ECOVACS and, of course, AI functionalities, the ability of talking to the smart vacuum. But by far, one of my favorite features is not only just the aesthetics of it, but the fact that I can use it as an RC camera and ride around the house and try to find where my cats are hiding. This is TK, and this is my comparison of the T50 Pro and the T50 Max Pro. Let's check them out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. We're going to start off by talking about the unboxing experience. Again, we got both the Pro and the Max Pro. Both of these are the T50 series, new series of smart vacuums from ECOVACS, and they pretty much include everything that you need to be able to get ready and go. First and foremost, the actual vacuum itself is pretty much fully assembled with the exception of the fact that there's some spacers and some protection put into it. The base station is actually a little bit more minimalistic than we've seen in the past, with an interesting new design where we can actually see the containers for the clean water and the dirty water. Although I will say that the dirty water is a little bit more non-translucent, so you can't actually see the water level there, but you can definitely see how much water you have left in the clean water tank. And that should let you know how much you need to actually refill. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. We have a nice little cleaning solution container on the left side, a collection bag that goes in the center as typically we've seen, and of course the smart vacuum. Now, there is first and foremost a very distinctive, I guess, characteristic between the two. The T50 Pro is going to be more on the slimmer side. It's more designed to go in lower spaces where you want to be able to go under furniture, where the Max Pro is a little bit more designed to have a stronger suction power, therefore a little bit taller, and you'll notice that the design is very similar between the two. The base station is actually by far look very nice, and you can definitely see the golder color or the goldish color a little bit more in tune into the Max Pro, and that's what distinguishes the two. If you're kind of looking at them and you're wondering which footage we're looking at, just look for the goldish color on the actual top of the smart vacuum, and that's going to be the Max Pro, and the silverish color, that's going to be the standard Pro. When it comes down to the application, both of them are controlled with the ECOVACS application, and today we're going to be checking out this one is going to be the Pro, as you said. Well, as we said, essentially the silverish color on the base station indicates that this is the Pro, obviously on top as well, and the goldish color on them indicates that we're looking at the Max Pro. Now, the Max Pro does have some additional functionality geared towards maybe specifically homes that have high carpets or a lot more carpet area than maybe wood, linoleum, or flat surfaces. Where the T50 Pro is really designed more for homes that have furnitures that are a little bit higher than normal, and you're able to actually have the low profile that we get here with the T50 Pro that can go under furniture, so it allows it to actually have a better cleaning experience. We can configure them both directly, so we're going to jump into the Pro real quick. When we jump in, first and foremost, obviously it's going to create a design or a mapping of your home. Now, you're able to see this in 2D or 3D by just simply moving the configuration, and what we're looking here is the last cleaning session that it did. The reason you'll notice that there's some areas that are open here and because we have furniture in there, so it recognizes that there's a couch, there's an open area in front of it. When you swipe from the bottom, you have the different configuration of doing vacuuming, mopping only, vacuuming and mopping, or mopping first, then vacuuming. So you have the ability of customizing that, and that's one of the new features we got. One of the things when you go with a slimmer design is you lose some suction power. So the Pro version has up to 15,000 pascals of suction power, and the Max Pro can go all the way up to 18,500 pascals of suction power, which providing it the higher, basically the higher frame of the body, the actual smart vacuum provides you this higher suction power, works much better on high carpet or even high levels of carpet in your area. The AI 3D 3.0 here still is part of one of their best configurations, using the LiDAR configuration on both the Pro and the Max Pro to allow it to actually recognize obstacles and go around them. And as I'm showing you guys with some of those examples, where it actually recognizes the actual bag that was sitting on the floor, and it went around it without having to actually bump against it. Adaptive cleaning here allows it to use the new edge cleaning technology that it has to allow it to not only extend the brush but also the mop to allow it to get that really close clean towards the side. And of course, child lock and about the robot in case you need to update that. There's an additional settings here. You can jump in, you can see the different configuration, cleaning log, scheduling it, scenarios if you want to customize it, maintenance, robot advanced, suction, Eco customization. This is their built-in assistant. So one of those things that you'll notice if I go all the way out, there's that nice little option here that takes us into the assistant function. And you can actually initiate that function on both the Pro and the Max Pro to start cleaning. For me, since I was comparing both of them, I was actually having them sit next to each other. So that's one of the main things you want to keep in mind. But to start them off, you're pretty much straightforward. You can go in there, you can customize the area where you want it to actually clean. You can customize a zone where you want it to clean. Let's say there's a spillage in here, which we're actually going to do a quick comparison now between the two. And we're going to start off with the T50 Max Pro. First and foremost, what I did here is I wanted to actually kind of get a good reference of how fast or how good the cleaning experience is going to be. And the way this actually kind of works, it does have a couple of passes in there. There's vertical and horizontal passes, and it does actually look at the beginning when you're doing it that there may be some pieces that it missed, but it catches them on the second pass, and that allows it to get that nice clean. And we were doing obviously, vacuuming as well as mopping at the same time, so the entire area comes up. One of my favorite features of the T50 Max Pro is the fact that it has up to 18,500 pascals of suction power, and that's combined with the 34.5 cubic feet per minute airflow. Now, this is powered by that 100-watt high-performance motor that we have in here that allows us to get to that, and it provides it a unique combination of basically suction power and airflow that is different than most of the other options that we have on the market, which rely heavily on suction power. That's how it's able to pull a lot of that dirt out of the carpet or high carpet area, especially if you have a lot of that. This is where it shines a little bit more. Now, of course, you need to be able to last for this duration, and although the 50 Pro and the 50 Max Pro both offer a 6400 milliampere battery, the Max Pro features Super Boost battery technology, which means it is actually using the battery more efficiently, and also the ability of giving us more performance for less power draw, meaning it can go further and works much better on higher areas. So if you have a much larger area to cover for basically cleaning or mopping, this is definitely going to do a lot better for you guys. And as soon as it's done, within 60 seconds, the ground is dry, everything is good, and you're ready to go to clean up whatever area you want. You can also customize the area. You just clean it by the different sections and rezone them in the mapping configuration. Now, switching it over to the Pro model, this one did pretty much the exact same situation. Both of them are featuring, again, a lot of suction power. 15,000 to 18,000 seems like a lot, but it depends on the surface. For me, most of the surfaces in my home are flat surfaces. I don't really have carpet. Actually, for the fact is, what you're getting here is very much a similar experience where this is basically the clearance from the ground becomes a little bit more prominent for you. This is where the difference between 3.2 inches to 3.9 inches becomes very, very big. And what I mean by this is the ability for the actual vacuum to clear certain areas, go under certain pieces of furniture, becomes easier on the T50 Pro because the Max Pro definitely has a higher clearance from the ground. Now, the next feature that I feel like a lot of people don't really cover whenever they're reviewing or at least comparing different functionalities is the fact that we can actually use the cameras built into our vacuum. Essentially is the ability of turning on the cameras that are built into the actual vacuums. Now, both the Pro and the Max Pro feature this, and what you get essentially is a little bit of a kind of a D-pad configuration. It becomes an RC camera car at that, obviously the ground level. And this is where you're seeing it there. This is from the 50 Pro. And what you're getting here essentially camera on, turned on right away, arrival on command, patrol, which allows it to basically just go around and kind of see what's going on. Video call, of course, if let's say you want to talk to somebody at home, you can have a video voice call between the two since we have microphones and speakers. And of course, we have the return to station if you're done configuring it. Last but not least, you can actually exit the configuration entirely by hitting the X here, and it takes you back. And of course, you have a little mini map of your area here. Now, what I'm showing you guys with that quick sample right there is just how easy it is. You can go forward, turn around. My cats don't seem to be scared of these vacuums anymore, which is really nice. But essentially, in case I'm not home and I want to see where my cats are, and if I want to maybe talk to them or see how things are, it makes it very nice and very customizable. And of course, again, an extra level of security in case you want to be able to know if somebody's walking around your place. Both the Pro and the Max Pro will feature these functionalities. It's simple. Just go directly into the camera button on the top right, set your personal PIN so that it doesn't accidentally get activated, and you're pretty much set to go. Battery-wise, overall, both of these will be able to cover most of your houses, except I will say, although on paper they both have a 6400 milliampere battery, the Max Pro has a built-in technology to allow it to go even longer if you have bigger homes. The one thing I will say, though, it does actually stop every once in a while to go back and clean the mop heads so that it's not dragging dirt on the mop heads or all around the house. So you want to make sure that you're getting a good clean, and that's basically what we have in the base station right behind the vacuum when it actually goes back into the base station. There's a way for it to actually use hot water all the way up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit on the Max Pro and up to 113 on the Max. And that allows it to actually clean those mop heads very nicely and greatly so that we get that clean experience across the house and we're not dragging dirt from one area to the other. So I've been using the vacuums for the last month or so, and I've been alternating between each one to basically see how they perform around my home. The overall performance when we did that deep clean or the area clean, you saw both of them performed very well. They were able to catch all of the dirt. I like the fact that both of them feature the extended arm on the brush, that it's not limited to the Max Pro. And what that means essentially is it's going along the edges of the corner, or basically edges of the wall, or anywhere there's basically a corner. Because of the shape of the smart vacuum being circular, by definition, it cannot get to that flat surface. The extended mop head and extended brush head both allow it to actually get closer to those edges. And as it starts doing any of its cleaning sessions, it always goes around the perimeter, and it does that first. It goes in, gets all of those. And if you notice it initially when it's cleaning, or either one, the Pro or the Max Pro, and you notice that maybe it throws something in the middle of the area, don't worry about it, because it's going to come back and finish cleaning it up. It shows you exactly the pattern that it does. You can customize it between the number of patterns, but also to the intensity of it. You can have it just do vacuuming, mopping, and again, all of those customizations work great. If you have a high carpet area, or more carpet than, let's say, flat surfaces like the way I have, I feel like the Max Pro works much better for you, because what you're getting there, essentially the higher suction power, again, up to 18,500 pascals, allows it to work better with those surfaces as it needs to pull all that dirt out of it. The Pro will work fine. Again, if you have mixed areas, I feel like that works great. But I feel like the Max Pro is really designed there. It like gives you more power, better, longer battery life. And I think that's where the compensation of the longer battery life comes in. Because you're using more power to have a higher suction power, you're going to consume more power, and you need a better battery management system. And that's where the Max Pro comes in. The Pro works great. The only time I'll probably say that it does come back to the base station, it's to be able to clean the mop heads and then, of course, replenish water through it. Now, it does come with a cleaning solution container in the base station. They didn't provide us a sample in there, but I typically always purchase that because I've had, again, ECOVACS vacuums from before, the T30S specifically. So I basically just emptied out or put in some of those solutions in both of those containers. And again, it comes back, it empties basically a little bin out, replenishes the water, and it goes through and makes sure that it's not continually basically spreading dirty things. What I really like about both the smart vacuums is that they both feature zero tangle technology, allowing them to not get bogged down, or at least the brush head tangled up with either hair, pet hair, or any kind of residual sitting on the floor. And it allows it to actually keep going and not lose suction power as it goes. It's very responsive, but if there ever is an issue with the mapping, or even when it's cleaning, you get those notifications on your smartphone so you know exactly what's going on. So even if you're not home, let's say the vacuum gets stuck or something like that, it'll notify you. And I like the fact that you can, again, talk to it. So let's say you're sitting watching TV. You don't actually have to take out your smartphone, try to tell it things. You can just literally call it out and tell it to actually start cleaning the house, and it'll start doing its own work on its own. Basically, that's literally the best way to do it. The AI functionality depends on your personal preference. I liked everything running in auto mode. Both of them ran really well. I think overall for me, when I looked at both of them, I found so much similarities. It was hard for me to try to figure out which one is better for what. So at the end of the day, when we started this, we said we're putting both the Max Pro and the Pro head to head, because we're going to basically declare a winner. And at the end of the day, it really isn't really about who wins. It's about which one is the right one for you. If you have a lot of carpet, and if you have the need for basically higher suction power, I feel like the Max Pro is going to do the better job for you. When you take that conversation out, I feel like that the Pro has more of the clearance function that works better for it. It's able to go lower, and obviously because of its clearance from the ground, about 3.2 inches, it means it can actually go a little bit better under certain furnitures depending on what you have. And I feel like where we also don't have the pop-up area where most smart vacuums now have that for some of their cameras, that allows both of them to actually clear things. So if it actually fits from the beginning, it'll go through and it's able to clean under that area. For me, the only area that kind of works is around our cabinet here in the kitchen area, where it actually goes under, goes from one area, cleans it, and it comes out the other side. And it makes it very seamless. We also allow it to go under the kitchen table so that it cleans up some of the little hairballs from the cats that we have. And of course, just if there's ever been a spillage that you want it to clean, open the app, turn on the spot cleaner, and then let it go do its job. It'll pick up everything, clean itself, and then go. And for me, for those little accidents where we have little hairballs, that kind of accident come out on the floor, that's always going to be the situation. I feel like I favor this the most. I never have to even get off the couch. I can just let it go, do the thing, and it finishes, goes back to the base station, and just make sure to fill up the clean water and empty out the dirty water when it needs, and of course put in a little bit more cleaning solution in there. So thank you very much to ECOVACS for allowing me to check out both the DEEBOT T50 Pro and the DEEBOT T50 Max Pro. The names are very similar, but the functionalities not only exceed our expectations, but also feature all of the latest innovations in cleaning technologies from ECOVACS. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. I will see you in the next video.